It's the J.A.W. Show. It's June 25th, 2021. Justice for all. Today we're talking about Black Lives Matter, the Chauvin trial, George Floyd, and America. Join us here live now. Hi everybody, welcome to the J.A.W. Show. It's Jabadier here. And I just wanted to say hello everybody. Today's an important day for a lot of Minnesotans. Today there is going to be the sentencing for the Chauvin trial, and also we get to find out what the officer who murdered George Floyd will be sentenced to. It's a big day because I've been a proponent of this for a long, long time. I want to say this. I am 100% behind the police. I think that they do a great job. I know that there are bad apples out there, but 99.9% of the officers trying to serve out there are trying to help keep us safe. There's a calling to that. Yes, over the years you can become jaded and a lot of different things can happen and stuff like that. And I don't want to diminish what happened to George Floyd. What happened to him was a crime. That's why we have a justice system. That's why we have the ability to have all the social media and all of the stuff that's going on in our lives. Sometimes we think that this justice system doesn't work, and we think that, people can get away with a lot of things. Well, we have to start setting this bar, the bar higher and higher for those who do enforce our laws, those who do go out there to protect and serve us, those who do go out, they should be held to the highest standard of those laws, because if they're enforcing those laws, then they should be even more held accountable to those things. Now, as far as the other three officers who just stood there and didn't do anything really, well, to see what they get. I don't think they will get as much, or if anything, like J.A.W. There'll be accessories to that, but it's not like it's going to change anything. It's not going to bring George Floyd back. He's dead, and I don't care what he was under, what he was on, what circumstances he was. No one deserved to die like that. Nobody. I don't care what condition you're. What if he had been mentally in the head? What if that had been a mental breakdown kind of a deal? What if it had been someone who had, serious anxiety, depression issues, and just something finally snapped for that person, and they didn't even know what they were doing? I mean, I've been talking a lot about mental health and about about a lot of these things that we don't always think up that matter to us, last year, on May 25th, George Floyd was murdered in front of cameras by Cup Foods, downtown Minneapolis, off of Lake Street and 38th, I believe. So if I got the address wrong, I'm sorry. The best I understand, Chicago or something like that. But there's been a memorial there for almost a year, maybe even more. They're going to try putting up a more permanent memorial for George Floyd. Hopefully that's something they can do in the future. But it's important that we don't, forget that happened here, because it did happen in Minnesota. I always say, well, that kind of thing could never happen here. Well, it finally did. Something major happened here that, we haven't seen for a long, long time, And COVID had something to do with it. People being under stress had a lot to do with it. And whatever was going through George's mind that day, what if he didn't even know he had a counterfeit 20? What if he didn't know? I've gotten fake 20s out of an ATM before and didn't even know that was something that could happen. It's not a perfect system, And in the long run, he did commit a crime, but the punishment did not outweigh the crime. He should have been put into the back with a squad car. He could have screamed, he could have kicked, he could have done a bunch of things, but he would have still been under arrest. He still would have been safe. And if he had had some kind of a medical issue in the car, at least then they could have said, well, then he died to injuries because he was loopy or whatever else kind of a set. No. There was, and it infuriates me that there are these it seems like there's different standards for different kinds of people. You know, regular, normal, everyday people who go out there and just try to work, have a life, and try to live some kind of happiness that they can while they can, you know? And they're not trying to break rules or do anything bad to do it. They're just trying to live their lives the best they can, right? Well, you know, it takes time, and, you know, you have to make some decisions on what you want your life to be, you know? The record should be double, triple looked at. You know, internal affairs should be a lot. You know, those people trying to stop my evil plan again. Look, I'm even getting all gray and fuzzy because I've no one's trying to stop my evil plan. It's like, why are you even listening? Anyway, but the reason I'm so passionate about it is because growing up, I really thought of doing a lot of it. I thought about becoming a policeman. I thought about joining the army. I thought about doing all those things. Couldn't become going to the army because when I was 18, I had a back problem that happened to me. I basically slipped 5 discs out of my back, and I had to have surgery, and it disqualified me from joining forces. I wanted to go into the armed forces of some kind, Navy, whatever. And I couldn't do that, so I said, okay, I'm going to support those people who are trying to protect us, you know. And my family has a military background, and a lot of my uncles and grandparents and all that stuff have served in the military. And my aunt served in the military, and she did, you know, she had a really good career for herself back then, you know. So, you know, and then, you know, and then that turned into a sense of duty of, you know, I was always one of these kids. I was this kid who wanted to follow the rules. I know that's really weird, but I mostly tried to follow the rules. You know, I wanted to be the kind, courteous, caring person. I wanted to be the guy who went and helped people. Because my life sucked too bad. I wanted to make no one else had to go through that, you know? So, and well, at the time it seemed like my life sucked. When I'm looking back at it now, I had a pretty typical childhood to most kids, so... You know, I've endured a lot. I've endured sexual abuse by a babysitter. I've endured alcoholism and drug addiction to some extent, suicide, mental health, definitely. I've rebuilt myself so many times I can't even imagine. But, you know, it took me to finally figure out I need to stop trying to do it for everything. Are the people who have lots of money or people who could buy their way out of any situation. We have to make sure that the people who, you know, could abuse the system get just the same treatment as everybody else. That's what's wrong with the system. It's not that the system's broken. It's that we have the standards of, if you're rich enough, you can buy your way out of anything. You can pay some. I don't want you to be evil. I want to systematically and completely obliterate the planet Earth. That way we don't have to deal with it anymore. Yeah. See, even the evil plans, lofty guys, because I really doubt I have the technology and skill set to pull off such an adventure. Unless you think I'm really that powerful of a person who can pull off the demonic crap. Well, okay. And even that's kind of for farce, guys. You know, my job here is to help bring us closer together. The anti-hero or the evil plan. That's all just to get you guys to talk about the things that we don't like to talk about, that's uncomfortable for us to talk about. I mean, why is it so hard to point a finger to the people who are in power and go, wait a minute, you shouldn't be getting away with this shit. Here, we're not going to let you get away with this shit. And if you do get away with this shit, we're going to be damn sure you never do it to us again. You know? You see someone not acting the way they say they're going to act in your political parties, don't vote for them. That's the easiest way to get rid of them. Don't vote for them. You know, vote for the other guy for once. Hey, your dudes or dudettes not doing the job that you want them to do, don't vote for them. Try to say, you know what, okay, but you have this many days to come to this many campaign promises. If you're going to promise us something, we want a contract with the people that you're actually going to try to do those things, and we want to see systematic you actually doing them, you know. Now, does everybody do everything right all the time? You can't help and serve everybody, right? No, you can. You try to take all of these little things that are coming in from your community and you try to say, what do people really want out of all of this? What do people want? We want a safe, happy world where we can just do something that we're not bored all day, and we can have friends and families and communities and, you know, food and party. You know, we could have parties every day and have people who come around and clean up the party, and the people who go party the next day, and those people clean up after them. You know, it's like, I'm not talking let's destroy the world either. I'm just saying, hey, we could have celebratory things. We could celebrate people's differences. We could celebrate differences and stuff like that. When I say justice for all, that's what it really means, justice for all. Today is just another day to someone's getting sentenced for a crime that they committed. Well, no, it's not, people, because Black lives do matter. And it is important that we acknowledge that the system is broken and we do need to fix it. We need to stop saying to anybody of color that makes any difference whatsoever. You know, they shouldn't be afraid to walk down a street and worry about if that cop's going to kill them today because their color of the skin on their body wasn't something they could control. Just like I can't control how I was born. I was born a white boy. I can't control that any more than anybody else can. And they want to say that I have all this benefit for being white. Well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I guess to me, in my point of view, in my head, it goes, hey, wait a minute. Do I have a job? Do I have home? Do I have a place to have people coming to hate me every day? Do I have the same things that are going on in their lives? Sometimes not understanding makes you want to go understand more. So, get involved. Hey, you don't think the police are doing a good job? That's fine. Raise awareness to do something, but make sure something's in place before you defund it, because until there's something in place to take over what you want to take over, great. You don't want the police to be there, then you have to come up with a better system than the police. And you have to come up with a better idea than everybody else has come up with over all of this time, It's just that how can we expect our officers to go through that? Maybe we should have them have they're supposed to have psychological evals. They're supposed to have all of this stuff eval. Maybe we need to do more of that stuff. Maybe if we see stuff on the record that's kind of hitting a couple of the we should look out boxes, maybe we need to, really look into what's going on there. Make sure they go to a couple months of some kind of therapy before you send them back out there. Retrain them. Go send them through boot camp, officer training school again. Make them go through all the hoops again. Be recertified or whatever you have to do. You're going to say, well, that doesn't work. If they're still a bad cop, they're still going to be a bad cop when they get out. Make it on known certain terms. This is their one and only chance. If they screw up, they lose their pension, they lose everything, I mean, people, police officers are union too. They have rights and privileges too, so that they can be protected too. Our officers deserve to have protection on them. They deserve to be able to enforce those rules, especially when people aren't obeying the laws or doing stuff that could harm other people. Then I can see more extreme measures being taken, but not over a $20 bill, not over a tiny bit of weed or a tiny bit of whatever pill you decide to take to make your pain go away that day. That's not what we should be worrying about. We should be worrying about the people being murdered, raped, abused, mentally, people who are being kept captive against their will, being trafficked. These are the important things in the world. Missing children, people who are desperate to get out of some situations, that need to get out of some situations. Sometimes what's going on at home is bad and you need to get away. Without some kind of authority there to help us go, hey, this is what's going on in the world, and we need to really try to make it go forward. Now, so it's been more than a year now. It's May 25th is when it happened. It's now June 25th today. And, I guess a year in a review of thinking about what kind of happened, what have we learned? Did we defund the police? No, we haven't defunded the police. They're still kind of up in the air of what they're going to do with that kind of a deal. Now the riots stopped. The riots have stopped for the most part. Some places are a little bit more, especially around the area where George Floyd dies, a little bit more protected because, people still feel a sense of that has to be a protected memorial place for him, because they don't want people to forget what happened. We have this really limited memory when it comes to how stuff happened in our history. Yes, we had slaves at one time, but do we still have slaves? No, we don't. Have we tried to turn our world around to be a little bit more inclusive of all of the people who live in our country? Yes, we do try to do that. Are we trying to give people who deserve rights their rights? We don't want to give people who want to adopt children and have sex with them rights. Okay, no one wants to see that happen. No one wants to see rape or become a legal way of having sex. No one wants to see robbery become something that's commonplace. Where I saw this movie once where guy was standing at an ATM. Guy with a gun comes right up behind him and says, "I'll be your robber today." And the robber actually gives him some money back because he feels bad that he's taking too much of his money. And it's all this comic banter about someone going, to the ATM, and the guy who's in LA just decides to come up and go, "Oh, I'm getting some money out of it." I want to do all this stuff. We want people to pay for the blah, 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 blah. My internet connection is unstable. They must be trying to stop my evil plan again. Look, I think I'm doing this weird talkie thing now. You can see my voice is not matching up with my mouth. I wonder if I can do it on camera. Anyway, that's me being goofy for 5 minutes. 5 seconds. What was this 5-minute goofball? I don't think I could goofball for 5 minutes if I tried. Well, maybe I could. I don't know. But probably I don't think I'm a goofball anyway. But, so the issues are there, guys. We have to find a balance, and that's always hard for us to do as human beings, trying to find that balance. It boils down to, what does justice mean? Justice just means that if something was done wrong, or at least the common people can agree that certain things are just wrong. We don't want to hurt people. We don't want to try to take away from those who have and have nots. People who have earned their money deserve their money. But, I do think everyone should pay their fair share. But, they got to being rich by being rich. Sometimes you just that kind of life, but they don't have everything either, guys. Every time someone says, "Oh, if I were only have money," I don't think money's going to solve every problem I have in the world. Okay, It'd be nice to have more money sometimes, but I really don't need more money. You know what I need? I need to be able to live in my house. I need to be able to have food. I need to be able to watch some sense of entertainment. I need to have some kind of community. I need to have life. I need to hear kids playing in my neighborhood, having fun. You know, I live in a neighborhood where children actually are outside playing, and you can hear people in the baseball fields and all that kind of stuff. You know, now is that kind of life for everybody? No, it's of course not. It's not for everybody. But you know, hey, that's what makes me happy. You just got to go find your happy. You've heard that said by a billion people before, but what does justice mean to you? How can your personal moral compass be a guiding light? If you're not doing something that hurts somebody, if you're not doing something that's stealing from somebody else's livelihood and making their life miserable because of it, the scammers, the people who are out there trying to actively get stuff from you by doing it in a really shady way. Okay, you're not doing that, right? Are you stealing maybe to get some food? Okay, I'm okay with that. You want to steal so you can get something to eat today? I don't care. You want to come over to my house? I'll give you a bunch of the stuff I have in my cupboards if that's what it takes. You know, I can go to a food shelf if I have to. You know, hey, next time you're at a food shelf, think about the person who can't get to the food shelf. You know, make a little bag for homeless people, a bunch of canned items, and throw a can opener in there, and they'll be able to eat for a month with all of this food that they've just gotten, you know? So, you know, that's kind of what's going on there, guys. So, I guess, you know, it's... Just take a moment today to really think about what's important in this world today. Hold tight to your moral compasses. Pray to the gods you believe in. Do yourself a moral checkup list, guys. It's time to check yourselves and make sure that what you're doing in your life actually matches up with how you want to live. If your moral compass is skewed and you're watching this video, oh, this guy just gave me permission to go be bad. No, I didn't. I give you permission to go change your life to help and benefit all of us. That's what I want you to do. And then we can move forward from there. I don't know what the verdict will be later on today, if there will even be a verdict today or not. But I am hoping that he will get a fair but long sentence. You know, since he was an officer for so many years, I do want his service to be taken into account. But, you know, I also want him to get the justice that he deserves. He should spend some time. And a cop in jail is not a good thing, guys. You know, that's something, you know, they say, you know, if you're an officer who got put in jail, they can't put you in the same jail where you put people, you know, away. But, you know, you never know over the time of years of things that get lost in the shuffle all the time. I want him to spend the time in jail. I want him to serve a sentence. I want him to be on probation. I want him to, you know, never be able to be an officer again, you know. So, you know, I guess that's really all there is to it today, guys. So, thanks for coming here. If you guys like what you're seeing, this is the Josh Show here. I'm going to skip the end credits today, maybe. Or maybe I'll just share it again. Here we go. Thanks for joining me. Join us next week, Friday, 10 a.m. I did mine a little early today because I'm just tired and I wanted to get it done and over with. So, done and over with. Woo-hoo! This has been the Josh Show. June 25th. 2021. Thank you for coming here. Facebook Live. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Come stop my evil plan by joining me next week.